So what I've got here is something I bought before. So why am I buying it again? This, my friends, is the Winwing, or now WinCtrl, F15 StrikeAce EX throttle grip. That's a mouthful. Today we'll go over its features, pluses, minuses, and why I bought it twice to go on my Orion 2 throttle base. Now, this isn't a new release, as the throttle and grip have been out for years now, but I'm constantly seeing people in Discord or Facebook groups asking, what throttle should I get? Or should I get the F18 grip, the F16 grip? My answer to that question is, what do you want to fly? Do you expect to branch out in other aircraft in the future? If so, I think the F15, and especially the EX version of this grip, is great for those that don't want to be pigeonholed into one specific aircraft. The F16 grip is cool, and so is the F18 grip, but if you move on to the A10 later, for example, you might struggle with mapping all your controls, especially for the A10. It's got a lot of buttons. Couple the grips with the Orion 2 throttle base and you've got all the buttons and switches you need for practically any aircraft in DCS, usually with some to spare for stuff like menus, view reset hotkeys, and zoom and more. The buttons are all very satisfying to push, and the switches have a nice clicky sound when you flip them. I would say the build quality is mostly excellent. All metal housing, including the grips and plastic parts, don't feel cheap. Software-wise, WinCtrl has their Simapp Pro Software used for firmware updates and calibration, as well as a ton of other features, including being able to change the way buttons, sliders, and switches function. It's got a neat vibration function that you can download profiles for, allows you to feel things like flaps or landing gear movement or damage to your aircraft through the vibrating grips. They also have an ability to share profiles on the cloud. You just pull it up, choose what aircraft you want to get the profile for, and then go. It's pretty easy. After fooling around with that, though, I would probably recommend only using the feature for one or two aircraft, the Hornet and the Warthog. The Hornet especially, because it seems that most of the downloaded profiles are made for that thing. All the switches are mapped to match the labels on the throttle base and the functions on the grip. As far as the other aircraft, I would highly recommend going to Chuck's guide and going to the controls mapping section of the aircraft that you're trying to learn. You get some great keybind advice there. That's where I go to when I start any aircraft that I bought. And that gets us to the part where I explain why I bought the grips for a second time. I've had this unit for about 2.5 years now. I've used it almost every day, sometimes in marathon sessions exceeding 6+ hours. After that amount of use, there's bound to be some issues, and for me there were a couple. The first issue I had was the finger lift unit, available as an optional add-on, but in my opinion, an essential addition to the throttle. It'll add about $50 to your overall purchase. I've had the teeny tiny springs in this thing break twice on me in the time that I've owned it. It's not a huge deal. They get a ton of use, and I'm surprised that they actually lasted as long as they did. I was easily able to find springs that fit it online and didn't need to contact WinCtrl for a replacement. The other issue, and the main reason that I had to replace my grips, is that after hours and hours of use, the TDC stick on the front of the throttle grip, this one, started having drifting issues. Physically, it was fine, but if you moved the stick along the y-axis and release it, it would slowly drift back to the center in the software rather than snap back. It turns out the sensor was going bad. My unit was well out of warranty. WinCtrl offered to send me a replacement parts for $120 plus shipping. I would also have had to fix it myself. Or I could just spend an extra $60, which included shipping, and replace the entire grip. So that's what I chose to do, because if there's a possibility of me breaking something even worse while trying to fix it, I'm your guy. I've looked at other brands. I guess the main reason I'm liking WinCtrl and I keep on buying their stuff is from a layout perspective, they're as close to the real jet as you can possibly get in terms of feel and layout. I really like that. Well, that's basically it. My short review and opinions on the F15EX StrikeAce throttle grip by WinCtrl. Hopefully this helped you make the decision, and feel free to check out my other videos, which should be popping up right about now. I will catch you guys in game, and I'll leave you with DCS AI being DCS AI.